Hey, hey, yeah. Yeah. Amen, say man. Live studio. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh, excuse me. I was supposed to get napkins. Wipe off my keyboard. All right. I'm here. I just gotta. I dropped food on my laptop. Dropped food on the laptop. How dangerous of me. Sorry, y'all gotta hear all of that. Oh, did I close it? Okay, there we go. I ain't never pressed these buttons a day in my life. I'm breaking stuff. All right. If you are in this live right now, welcome to the Guitar Q&A, my guitar office hours. You can ask me anything about guitar, and I am more than willing to answer your guitar-related questions, especially during this time. This is my planning period. I'm a full-time guitar teacher, so just to explain a little bit about that. Ooh. I teach on the high school level. I have about 100 students, really 30, 20. So that's not 100, that's 80. But I'm about to start an after school program where I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people who aren't necessarily signed up for my class that are interested in joining my club in order to learn the guitar. So I'm a full-time guitar teacher. I've been playing guitar since 2004. And I've been doing these office hours ever since the semester started, where I'm answering anybody's questions about guitar. So if you are in the live right now, if you're in the chat and you got questions related to guitar, this is the best time to do it, to ask me anything. If you don't have any questions related to guitar, but you're like, you want to learn, and you're already a musician and anything, we can compare instruments, because I'm not just a guitarist, I'm a multi-instrumentalist. So keys, horns, I done experimented with it all, you know what I'm saying? So I do have something that I plan on teaching, but I'm probably not going to start teaching it until about let's say the 24-minute mark. So I'm going to give people 2 minutes to join the live stream while I plan out what I am about to teach. Not even plan out, but just prepare what I'm about to teach, because it's a relatively simple topic, but it connects the dots for all things guitar related. Now, I personally feel like guitar is easy. Guitar is one of the easiest instruments out there, but it can become challenging unless you know how to connect the dots of everything that you already know how to play on the guitar. So if you already know how to play guitar, then you're one step on the right journey. If you already know about music theory, you're one step in the right journey. So let me know if y'all have any questions within these next 30 seconds. If you don't have any questions, then if y'all don't have any questions, I am going to start teaching. There is a topic that I feel like is very important for every guitarist to understand, and it's the notes of the guitar. Like, a lot of guitarists be skating. Like, a lot of them just learn frets, fret numbers, learn how to read tablature, which is the 6 lines where all it has is like fret numbers on the tabs. And all you have to do is literally just figure out where to place your fingers. Even a lot of chords, like some guitarists know how to place their fingers down, but don't even know that this is an E flat minor 9. They might not even know what a minor 9 means. They might know it as a shape, but they may not know it as what note that you're actually playing. So the fact that I'm able to go from minor 9 to major 7, major 9, all of these are different chord shapes. But until you know that this note is an E flat, or this note is an E, and that note is an E, and that note is an E, and that note is an E, that note is an E, and that note is an E, you're not really progressing on the instrument. So today we're going to talk about the fact that there are 12 notes in music. 7 letters in the musical alphabet, but 12 notes in music. And before I even go deep into that discussion, I just like to reiterate what the pinned message in the chat says. I'm going to start recording this lecture. When I'm recording, if you have any questions, I may not get to your questions until I stop the recording, because the whole premise of me recording these lectures are so that I can have video lessons to give to my students who are actually in the school building whenever they miss a school day, or whenever how I put it, whenever they miss a school day, or if they need a little bit more clarity and I've only taught it one time and they need like reiteration on what certain things mean. So right now, my beginner guitar class, not my advanced, but my beginner guitar class is learning out the notes of the fretboard, mapping the fretboard. And eventually we're gonna start with the first 4 frets. But for now, I want them to just understand first 5 frets, because 5th fret included. But for now, I just want them to understand that there's only 12 notes in music. So I'm about to start recording, y'all. When I start recording, if you have any questions, put it in the chat. I promise you I'll get to it as soon as I'm done recording. And this should be a quick 5-minute video lesson because it doesn't take too much to actually record. So, recording in 3, 2. What's good, y'all? Today we're going to talk about the notes of the guitar. How to understand all of the different notes that you are playing. How to understand all of the different notes that you are playing when you press down on frets of the guitar. It is so vital for you to understand the notes of the guitar, because we've been getting by with just reading tablature, but it's going to get to a point where you're going to have to play certain chords or certain things you might have to read from the music staff, and you just want to know what you're doing. You have to be a little bit more knowledgeable than somebody who's just sitting around fiddling at the guitar. Now, if you just want to fiddle, that's up to you. But if you're taking my class, it's not going to happen. So, and it's easy. It's not really like it's a difficult concept. Now, we'll stack on top of each other so it can become more difficult, but we're not going to worry about that yet, because once you learn anything in music, it's all about patterns. It's all about perspective. Once you learn one thing, it just repeats over and over and over and over again. Now, here's the biggest thing. There are 12 notes, and I'm going to make that larger. That way it's easier to read. There are 12 notes. But it is centered around the fact that there are 7 letters of the musical alphabet. 12 notes, but 7 letters. 7 letters in the musical alphabet. And it's directly correlating with the 7 letters of the English alphabet. If you know the 7 letters, the first 7 letters of the English alphabet, you can figure this out, right? First 7 letters, we got A. That's a horrible A. We got A, B and C, D, E and F, and then G. Those are all 7 letters of the musical alphabet. And then after G, it repeats back to the top, A. I know everybody on the live stream may not be able to see it, but on the recording you'll be able to see it. And I'm just gonna make it smaller that way you can see it, fit the frame, right? Cool. These are the 7 letters. If you did not notice, I made B, C, and E and F so close together. And there's a very big reason why I'm doing that. As we are European influenced, this Western hemisphere that we live in, we divided our entire musical sequence into a 12-tone series. We divided all of our notes into 12 equal notes. But in order to do so, we had to actually name the notes based off of the frequencies that they were on and all the things. In order to make it make sense, we decided to go with 7 letters and put these 2 letters side by side, B, C, E, and F. All of the other notes are just accidentals, where you add a symbol like this or a symbol like that. We call this symbol sharp, and we call this symbol flat, to the letters that you already have. So we have our 7 letters, and you add a symbol that gives you the other 5 notes that's missing, because 7 plus 5 makes 12. You put all of it together, now you have all 12 notes of music. So what notes are missing? Let's talk about it. If it is sharp, you are going from left to right. You are going from a low pitch note to a high pitch note. If it is flat, you're going from right to left. You are going from a high pitch note to a low pitch note. Sharp's literal definition in music means to raise the pitch of a note. So we are starting with A. A is our first note. If we raise the pitch, we repeat the letter and call it A, but then we add the symbol sharp, A sharp. B, you raise it up, it becomes C. B and C is right next to each other, so you don't really need to call it B sharp. That doesn't really exist in music. It does, but there's a whole science definition of why it does, and we're not going to talk about the science yet. I just want to keep it simple for now. So A sharp, B, C. There's another gap right here. We're going to fill that gap with C sharp. D sharp. You raise it up, it becomes D sharp. E, raise it up, it becomes F, because E and F are right next to each other, just like how B and C are right next to each other. When you raise up F, it becomes F sharp. You raise up G, it becomes G sharp. And then you're back at the top with A, and it just keeps the sequence going on and on and on and on. These are all 12 notes of music. Very easy to process. Easiest way to process it, in my opinion, take these 3 steps. First step, step number 1, write down the 7 letters of the musical alphabet. Second step, make sure that you left that gap in between every note combination except B to C and E to F. So A to B, we left the gap. I'm going to put the gaps in blue, that way it's more visible. A to B, we left the gap. And actually, instead of leaving the gap, I'm going to put a slash. A to B, we left the gap. C to D, we left the gap. B to E, we left the gap. F to G, we left the gap. G to A, we left the gap. These gaps are intentional because the only notes that do not have a gap are B to C and E to F. B to C and E to F. Those notes are right next to each other. And it's easier to see it on the piano, but I'm explaining it to you whiteboard style for now. I'll show you it on the piano afterwards, right? But that is how you figure out the 12 notes. Step 1, write down the 7 letters. Step 2, make sure you have gaps in between every note except B to C and E to F. And step 3, repeat the letter that has the gap and add the symbol. In our case, the symbol is sharp, as we are taking the notes and raising it up. Now, sharp is what you call it when you raise it up, but if we are lowering the notes, it is called flat. So if we're starting from the right side and we are lowering the notes, we're starting from a high-pitched note and we are lowering it, we would do the same concept. It still has the same gaps. A gets lowered to become repeated note, and I'm going to put it in black, that way it's simple. A gets lowered, you repeat the note to the right this time, A flat. So you're lowering A flat. G sharp and A flat are technically the same letter names, the same note names, not the same letter names. G sharp and A flat are the same note names. Technically the same note. One moment, I see there's a glare on the screen, so I'm going to dim the light just a little bit. Hopefully that glare went away. If it didn't, then sorry. G sharp and A flat, technically the same note. I'm going to apply that same concept. I got A flat. G, I lower it, it becomes G flat. F sharp and G flat are technically the same note. But we'll talk about that a little bit after this. I'm going to show you the visual example of a piano. That way it makes more sense to recognize. F, you lower it, it becomes E, because E and F are right next to each other. F and E are right next to each other. Don't get that confused. We're only lowering the notes that have a gap. E gets lowered, it becomes E flat. These are the same notes. It's just called sharp when you raise it up and flat when you lower it. D gets lowered, it becomes D flat. These are the same notes. I'm going to say it every single time. C, you lower it, it becomes B, because C and B are right next to each other. B and C are right next to each other. Do not forget that. B, you lower it, it becomes B flat. And those are all 12 notes of music. You see it as it raises up, A sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp. And you see it as it lowers, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A. And that's all 12 notes of music. Now, it may not be the easiest thing to see right out the bat, but I'm just going to clear the board, and I'm going to show you an image that might make it slightly easier to notice. It's challenging to see on a guitar. It's challenging to comprehend on a whiteboard until you do it over and over and over and over again, and then you recognize it like it's the back of your hand. In fact, in my high school guitar class, I require my students to come up to the board and I require them to write down all 12 notes of music, but we do it piece by piece. So we start with 5 notes a day. I have them come up and actually I'll show you the board where we did it. This is my class's version today. They just wrote the same notes over and 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 over, and they left huge gaps right here, and over and over and over again. I made everybody in the classroom come up to the board and write down a certain amount of notes because it's just a sequence, it's just a pattern. It's going to repeat over and over again. So if you only write down 5 notes, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, the next person that comes after you is going to continue that sequence. D sharp, E, F sharp. Then the person after that is going to continue G sharp, A sharp, B, C. But one thing that I want you to notice, as all of them are writing these notes, one thing remains a constant. E and F, or a few things remain a constant. E and F are right next to each other, and B and C are right next to each other. Every other letter, you just repeat it and you raise it up. F becomes G sharp, G becomes G sharp, A becomes A sharp, B, C. C becomes C sharp, D becomes D sharp, E, F. And it just keeps going, and it just keeps going. So doing it nonstop over and over again will lock it into your brain, in your short-term memory and your long-term memory. But let's look at it on a piano, because the piano is the most visual way of seeing it. The piano is the most visible way of noticing it. I'm gonna pull up a picture. And this picture's great. I wish we had most of my octaves. That picture's not great now that I think about it. This one's great. All right, to tie it all together, you all, here is a picture of a piano. I probably should have made it fit to the screen of the live stream. Sorry. I have to be more cognizant of that because also I'm thinking about the full screen and how people would see it in the recording. Cool. Now all of these notes should, Now all of these notes should fit to the live stream. We have our 7 letters of the musical alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it keeps repeating. C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, and it would keep going if there was more letters. C, D, E, F, G, and so on and so forth. But one thing I want you to notice, you have your white keys at the bottom, and you have your black keys at the top. There is no black key in between E and F. There is no black key in between E and F, and there is no black key in between B and C. Sorry that my arrows look kind of wonky, but you get the picture. There is no black keys between E and F. There's no black keys between B and C. So if we were to write out these notes, C, you raise it up to the black key, it becomes C sharp. D, you raise it up to the black key, it becomes D sharp. E becomes F. F, raise it up, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B to C. And it just repeats the sequence all over again. C to C sharp, D to D sharp, E to F to F sharp, G sharp, G to G sharp, A to A sharp, B to C. And you just repeat the sequence over and over again. And the same thing works in reverse. So if we're starting with a high pitched note, C, you lower it, it becomes B. You lower that, B flat, A flat, G flat, F, E flat, D flat, C. Those are all the notes. There's only 12 of them. But one thing I want you to remember is that F sharp, G flat, same note, same sound, different notes. Now why is this important? Let's tie it all together, right? Because that's just a whole lot of hoopla unless you actually are understanding why we did it. You have to know what notes. You have to know what note you are looking at when you are learning the guitar and when you are learning the notes of the fretboard. One of my favorite websites in order to practice that is musictheory.net. Musictheory.net is a great website, great resource. Actually, let me make the screen so the live stream can see it. Okay. Musictheory.net is a great website, great resource for you to learn music theory, but not just for piano, not just for the music staff, but they also have resources for guitar. So if you visit this website and click on exercises, you'll see a few icons in blue, which is specific to the staff. You see icons in red, which is still specific to the staff. Icons in black or gray, depending on the hue that you're looking at. That's specific to the keyboard. You'll see icons in orange, and that's specific to the fretboard, our lovely instruments fretboard. And then you'll see icons in purple, which is specific to practicing listening with your ears. But we'll talk about that in a quick second. Fretboard note identification. In order for you to really know what you are doing, in order for you to really know what you are playing on the guitar, you have to know what notes you're looking at. This is the second fret of B. How do I know? There's a 2 right here, and it's on the line that says B. So if I know my notes, I can say that note is a B right here. This open string note is B. I look at the first fret, it is C. I look at the second fret, and I know it is C sharp because I just raised up the notes. It's the same notes that we just wrote down over and over and over and over and over and over again. But now it's applicable to the guitar. So I click on that note, C sharp, it says I'm correct. What are we at, the 4th fret of B now? That's B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp. I'm gonna write it out, all 12 notes at the top one more time. Starting from A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, B, F sharp, G, G sharp, and then you repeat A. B and C is next to each other, every other note has a sharp. E and F is next to each other, every other note has a sharp. So when it is time to look at the notes of the B string, this is my open B string, open B, 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. Open B, C, C sharp, D, and then that note right there is D sharp. And you get good at it the more that you do it, to the point where you don't have to worry about it. 4th fret of G, I know that note is B. Oh, it's not on my screen. There we go. 2nd fret of B, C sharp. We already looked at it before. 4th fret of A, that is D flat, but it's also known as C sharp. Open E, that is the open E string. And doing stuff like this over and over again just gets you better at recognizing the notes of the fretboard. It also gets you better at knowing all of your notes all over the guitar. Because once you learn one thing, it directly correlates and ties into the next thing that you have to learn. So don't skip out on the foundations, y'all. Make sure that you are learning it properly. If you like content like this, make sure you watch the entire series, where I am posting these videos, these recap videos of these lessons that I do during my guitar Q&A live streams. So if you want to do even more, if you want to take it a step further, join the Q&As and ask me the questions during the Q&As. And I will answer your questions live and in person. That way you can get a quicker response. But if you just also have questions and you just want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me at contact@paulneilmusic.com. I'm going to say that one more time. Contact at the name of this channel, paulneilmusic.com. Catch you guys in the next video. Recording is over. Samuel, I'm assuming. How you feeling? Hopefully you learned something today, Sammy. I got 4 minutes left. If you have any questions, this is the best 5-ish minutes left. If you have any questions, this is the best time to ask those questions. If you were confused by what I just taught, this is the best time to seek clarification. I can help you out in understanding these things. But if not, I'm just gonna play. I wanna pick. Ooh, no questions today. I got 11 people watching. Nobody has any questions related to guitar. If you have any questions, this is the best time to ask. I have 3 minutes left. This is the time. Izzy, I know you missed this. Guitar class, guitar club. Probably not. Are you still in Georgia? I got a show next Monday. You should come if you're still in Georgia. I have no idea where y'all are. I planned on reaching out to you all to make sure that I'm following up with everybody, making sure they're well adjusted, seeing if I can offer any resources, any words of encouragement, any advice. So, yeah, I'm gonna hit y'all up soon. Nice. Come to my show if you can. Brandon's coming. He said he might bring dang, what's bro name? I forgot his name. Travis. Brandon and Travis. You were one class underneath them. It's in Atlanta, downtown. So, it might be a little bit of a challenge to get there. Unless you just got it like that and y'all can, travel. It's at this place called the Supermarket ATL. The link is in the Groovy Groove Band's description. Caption, description. Bio. The link is in the bio of the Groovy Groove Band's IG page. Can I play any bluegrass? I don't want to spend the last 90 seconds playing bluegrass. If you have questions on how to play bluegrass, that'd be different though. But I'm not trying to use this time in order to entertain. The entire time that I was using on this live stream was to educate, not to entertain. Oh, the lights turned off. Motion sensor lights. I guess I wasn't doing enough movement. There we go. Ooh. Hmm. 25 years. Shout out to you. I don't know what a takamine is. But I am going to research it now that you said something. This is... Fender. Fender. As it says on my headstock. Oh, I guess the tuner was in the way. Anyway, though, my time is up in 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. I got students about to walk into the room in 60 seconds. So I wanted to use this time just to do a brief recap. Again, I am a full-time guitarist and a full-time guitar educator. I have been playing for I've been playing since 2020, not 2020. I've been playing since 2004. So that makes 21 years. I haven't been playing the same genre for that long. But, and I also didn't decide to take it serious until 2016. 2016, I decided to actually start learning from a private lesson instructor. I had 4 instructors since 2016 up until now. And I started teaching in 2022. I started doing gigs in 2018. You have an awesome day as well. God bless. Within that time, I've learned a lot about guitar. But really, I would say the biggest thing that helped me truly learn about guitar was teaching in 2016. Not 2016, 2022. 2022 is when I started teaching the guitar. And from there, I feel like my knowledge, that was the bell. I feel like my knowledge, my comprehension, my approach, my dexterity, everything just grew tremendously the moment that I decided to start teaching. So one thing that I plan on doing more of is teaching. Because the more that I teach, the better that I teach, the better that I play, the better that I understand. And the better that I feel like I'm of service to others. I feel like I was placed on this earth for 2 reasons. Number 1, for the arts. I love everything music and artistic related. And number 2, to be of service to others. So if I'm doing both of those things, I'm walking in my purpose, which is why I kind of like doing these live streams, these Q&As, in order to educate the people about how the guitar works, how to play the guitar, and all the things. So if anybody has any questions related to guitar and you weren't able to ask them in the middle of this guitar Q&A, shoot me an email. My email is contact@paulneilmusic.com, which is the name of this channel, contact@thename-of-this-channel.com. I'll catch you all in the next live stream. I plan on doing this as much as I can, Monday through Friday, starting at around 10:30ish, unless I went out to go get some food, which is what I did today, which is why I started at 11. So I still got my plate in front of me. I didn't finish eating. I had to go talk to y'all. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this type of content. If you're just now joining, rewatch this, because the whole thing has been live for, what's this, 32 minutes? It's not too late to rewatch this type of content. So I'll catch you all on the flip side. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Hold it down, Cub Scouts. I'm out.